Okay, this is the point where I've stopped buying performance and power mods. I'm just impulse buying because it's so easy since some of us here are on lockdown. But this is a Renegade Motorsports Billet cap set. These guys are located in West Palm Beach, Florida. And from what I've read, they are former aerospace engineers that left whatever corporations they were working for, and now they're catering to guys like you and I. Now, what got me to choose the Renegade Motorsports set is that I myself work in the aerospace field, and I know what high quality means as far as durability and what lasts long. But the other thing is that this oil cap is hybrid Delrin, and a lot of you know that billet aluminum is very hot to the touch and Delrin isn't. So with this being, cooler to the touch, makes it safer for you to use as someone who is always under their hood. Also, when you install them, they all face you. Whenever you tighten this guy down, which one's turned, they all face you. I mean, honestly, this is one of the small attention to details that you don't get from the other companies. Here are the service caps that I currently use under the hood. This is a super stick dipstick engine oil cap. It's also red and billet, very hot to the touch when it is hot. Here are the yellow ones, stock plastic fantastic. They do a good job of letting a noob know where all the reservoirs are, where they need to be serviced. But if you're a long-time Subaru owner, you shouldn't need bright yellow caps. So besides being beautiful, they serve no purpose but to do the jobs of those guys right there. And let's get to incorporating whatever we need so that we can go ahead and install these. Now, two of them are easy to install. If you have the stock reservoirs, the stock catch overflow and whatnot, because I run a Killer Bee Motorsport dual tank reservoir for the windshield washer and coolant reservoir, I had to do some modifications to both of these. Now, because the windshield washer and coolant reservoir are both plastic by design from the factory, the Killer Bee dual reservoir filler necks are all metal. So these two caps right here, as you can see, compare them side by side, these flex and they snap on. Well, you can't do that with this, because the weaker side will flex to allow these to stick on, right? So what I've done first off with the coolant reservoir, coolant overflow, is I've gotten a oil grommet, I've notched it, and then I've notched it until I cut pieces off until it fits snug. Then I use JB Weld to stick it on there and to press fit it inside the reservoir, in the diameter of the reservoir, rather than using this little center part right here where it's supposed to go over the mouth of the filler neck. And then I added another tapered rubber bump or plug to reinforce it, to give it a little more of an expansion. That way it gives a good bite, and also to raise the cap higher up, because the flange of the front part of the reservoir hits the cap. Your other one is the windshield washer fluid cap. The way this works is that it clips over the filler neck. So now that it's metal here, I had to incorporate a plug to install this cap over it, because it cannot act as a cap. It can't do that. So I've got some plastic cap. I don't know, I'm using cap and plug a lot from my local hardware store. It fit perfectly inside the little round channel in there, snaps right in. Then I got a screw. I screwed a hole through the cap to stick the plug on there. Then I JB welded the insides as well as the thread, shoved it on there, JB welded both, let it cure for 4 to 6 hours, and then now I've converted them to plugs. So if you run stock reservoirs for the overflow and windshield washer tank, disregard all this. You should be able to snap it right on. They got O-rings to keep it sealed. However, because I run aftermarket parts, I'm just cool like that, And then for these, all you gotta do is transfer O-rings, seals, and dipstick right over to these guys. So this is the power steering reservoir cap. It goes right here. Here is the oil cap right here, same thing. And then we've got the brake and clutch for 2015. We share the same thing. There's no separate cap, but all you gotta do is transfer everything over. Okay, so brake, clutch, reservoir, simply just take this off. There's channels in there. You want to just clip it under there like so. Make sure it's even. That's it. That is done. Okay, that's for that. For the engine oil, take the O-ring off. Now keep in mind, this is an aftermarket oil cap, and it has a different O-ring from the stock one. So remember that this kit, using stock caps and you know, seals and O-rings and stuff, when you install them, they're supposed to face you. But being that this O-ring is different than the OEM one, that I know that it's not going to be straight when you tighten it on. Let me get this off. Alright, for the oil cap, got the O-ring off, and like I said, this is a different O-ring from stock, so this may not line up correctly, but I got my stock oil cap sitting somewhere. I can always get that one and then take the O-ring off, change it out. Okay, so that's on there. That's that. Onto this guy, power steering. So it comes with a tool. It comes with a tiny Allen wrench, and if you look where this Allen wrench goes, let's look for this little Allen screw right here. Yeah, it goes right through. So you can see some of the marring that I've done, and it's because I've done it prior to this, right before when I wanted to sell it, because these guys didn't want to work right here. So I changed my mind after that. But if you look at the power steering cap, there's clips here that hold the dipstick inside. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna pry these notches so that the inner white clear part can pop off. So let me do this off camera, because it's pretty hard to do it one-handedly. Okay, so I got it off. All you gotta do is really pry the outside yellow part, and just separate it, just kind of yank it this way. Don't worry, you won't break anything. You don't even need tools to pull this apart. Okay, so the next thing is you're gonna match it up here. Okay, so make sure the set screw is back all the way as far as you can, out and away from the inner diameter of the cap. Okay, so when you got all three sides notched in, get your Allen screw, and you're going to draw it in, and what this does is it acts as a stop. That way your dipstick, your inner dipstick part won't come off. So you can see right there, that's not going to go anywhere. So that's it. Let's just throw it in the car.